Uh, this was supposed to also cover the N10 was supposed to be a highway, a beltway that would link international airports with our next seaport. And was supposed to be part of the Port Harcourt Ring Road. That 250 billion was also supposed to cover Monte at Rivers and the new USD campus. And I believe the N10 was actually started. But it's important to state this. So for 16 years, the Port Harcourt Ring Road project has been on board. It's not easy. And I think that if all of these governors, Oneha, Amechi, BK, had consistently thought about it, then it must mean that there is something to it. I recall that the reason for the Port Harcourt Ring Road project, at least at the time I served in government, was to be able to open up the city. So, like I said, make Port Harcourt one large metropolitan city like other global cities, and also reduce the traffic impact. It was also to transfer 5 to 6 local government areas, which are the local government areas currently in the approved one. And note that these local government areas are the food basket of our state. So you're talking of Eche, you're talking of Gokana, Eleme, Emo, Ikwere. So you're talking about LGS where you'll be moving products. Don't forget also that these local government areas carry a bulk of the economic projects of the country. So the Eleme Petrochemicals, the Port Harcourt Refinery, your next seaport, NAFCON, etc., now notorious. So when you look at the location that this Port Harcourt Ring Road is to cover, it's some of our country's major assets. And I say that because sometimes it's important to have a sense of history. If as far back as 2011, this project was cost 250 billion naira. And now it's proposed at a cost of 200 billion naira. At a time when exchange rate has more than, is there anyone like sevenfold? Because we moved from 150 to 750. Okay, that's an additional 700 naira to a dollar.
Okay.
So like I said, it's good to have things in perspective. And like I said, I think some part of history might be helpful.
Okay.
In this conversation.
Quickly, yeah. I think for many people who worry about the project now would be because of the current realities we have with the economy and the fact that at the moment it's difficult for the purchasing power of Nigerians, not just people in Rivers State. People don't have monies in their hands. There's a lot that needs to be done to improve on the economy and the welfare of people first. And the fact that the past administration had focused a lot more on construction of roads and bridges and etc., infrastructure, many were hoping that at least the first point of call for this administration should go in the direction of human capacity development, creating employment, just seeing that something is done to encourage the economy and get it to blossom, especially with what we're facing now. For people who have that concern, what would you say to them? Because that would be where some Rivers people are coming from when they say this project, we don't think it's something we should be embarking on now.
Okay, so the thing, Andrew, is neither of us is as government, and a government has a global view of things. If this project has been conceived for 16 years by various administrations, maybe it means that it's something that really should start. And the best time to start a good idea is now. Well, the best time was yesterday. The next best time is today. That's the thing. But more importantly is to say that when we say we want to grow economy, then it means we want to open up businesses. And this Ring Road project has conceived that to transfer 6 local government areas, and we're talking of agrarian communities, means that it opens up those places for farmers to be able to move their produce, number one. That helps the bottom line of the average farmer, because it means that he's moving goods and services at cheaper cost. This Ring Road transverses the food bills of the state. So it means that we're getting food at cheaper I want us to look at these linkages as we think of reducing costs.
Okay, all right. Just hold your thoughts there, madam. We have to go for a very short commercial. As soon as we return, we'll let you complete your train of thought. Just stay on the line for us.
All right.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
There are 3 people whose calls I won't miss for
the NDDC. We are looking at the Rivers State Government's Ring Road project, and of course this morning you know that the state government would also be flagging off its transport system in a bid to cushion the impact of petrol subsidy removal. Both of these plans have been greeted with various forms of criticism. Some are in favor of it, others disagree, and you've heard quite a lot from my guest, especially with how the Ring Road was birthed and how far it's going to improve on the economy, even though we still have those who believe that, well, we don't need this now. We'll give you the opportunity to ask questions. So if you have questions that you'd want to ask and contributions you want to make, the WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. You can send in your opinions, your thoughts, and hopefully get a response from my guest before we wrap up this segment of the show. You can also use the phone lines 0817-923-0007. Remember, we are also streaming live on Facebook and on Twitter at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook and Nigeria Info PH on Twitter. Again, the number to call 0817-923-0003. Let's get back now to my guest. Thank you very much, madam, for staying on the line for us. So yes, you were giving us an idea as to how the Ring Road project would improve the economy. So let's allow you to finish on that thought.
Yes, so I talked about the fact that you can move food. We talked of that. Which cost is cheaper. Now, people who work, when you have this Ring Road as there for the 6 local government areas that is operating, cost of housing becomes cheaper because people can actually live in their communities or less expensive communities and work in the city. So you've got lower commute costs that help the economy. You've got more space for businesses to thrive because businesses don't all have to be, concentrated in the small city of Port Harcourt. You now have a mega city and businesses can go anywhere. And Lagos is a good example. Lagos is very far from the state. So big companies, manufacturing companies can go elsewhere. It means that you reduce rural urban drift. So rural communities can no longer be rural. You now have all of these other communities from urban communities. It means companies can be established in those places. So you're talking employment. You're talking more jobs. All right? So when you look at all of these, honestly, if you think of the economy of having a mega city, then honestly you cannot say that this is not welcome. And again, like I said, it's transferred how many governors? So 4 governors. And like I said, the best time to start a good project is yesterday. The next best time is today.
All right, let's take some messages on WhatsApp first and then get your response before we let you go. I know you promised me only 15 minutes of your time. I seem to be taking more than that. My apologies.
You have taken more than that. I know you have my money.
You have said it again. All right, let's get on to some more messages on WhatsApp. Now, this one says, Governor Fubara starting with groundbreaking and flagging off of project. Is this hardship spread is not a welcome development? The such people want, the suffering rivers are going through. We want employment and promotion of workers. Governor, please use the 200 billion to ensure you better the lives of rivers people. From Bema sent in that message. Another person says the Port Harcourt Ring Road project will help open up the city. Critics can go ahead. It won't change. I think we should know when to post on that one. And the person says, living is miracle from a chair. With all the roads that the rings trans be reality. So I'm pretty sure what he meant is the roads that will be linking into the road will be also worked on. Well, I don't know what the contract is like. I haven't seen a COVID, so I wouldn't know. The question is, what have those buses brought during COVID-19? Just cram to Cocoa Market or what? I don't know if they're going to be among the buses that would be set up the trust system by state government. Pretty sure for the runs out details of how that operational will be made known to us. Well, from the information that we had available to us, the Ring Road is supposed to go through Port Harcourt City, Obiakpo, Echie, Gokana, Eleme, and Oyigbo. So is also one of them. But a detailed also come out, I'm pretty sure, in course of the project. The contract would last out 3 years. Let's see you folks. Let's say now, good morning.
Good morning, my brother in the studio. What your guest saying about Ring Road or the money that demand for the Ring Road of the team. So if I want to increase the economy of it, You know, the unemployment is escalating. If you can dender the everything or go at industry, especially that one to be factory at without in the lab trade. Why can't you originate the structure of that syringe factory? And besides, many people are people that do business more than the people that buy the market. So in business is not even in the world business is not. See what is that people doing criminality because they are not engaged in one place or another. If you engage, you cannot be taking activity. See, every state is not conducive right now. It should put the state in order. Let it be a conducive area for the investor to come and invest in the state,
right,
so that people will gain employment.
Thank you very much.
What's happening in the matter of this government of it? I don't understand you.
All right, let's go to Lugard now. Lugard, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, I greet you especially. Good morning.
Morning, go on.
Greetings from Eche to you. Yes, it gets me worried, Andrew, when persons will come on air and tell me, look, man, what I know. How will Ring Road improve the river's economy or Nigerian's economy? It's very unfortunate. They told us that the overhead bridges that were constructed in Obiabo and Faga plus other roads will improve our economy. And up to today, that flyover and roads have never improved our economy. Okay, look at the hold-ups in most of the flyovers, more especially in Rumokuro flyover and other areas. What are they telling us there? So for me, that is another way of siphoning rivers people's resources. Why is it that each time any government that comes, more especially this weekend and the same, they will concentrate on infrastructure, road. What is so special in this road?
All right, Lugard.
They don't want us to benefit from them. Now they are doing us give and take. The less you see, the more you look, the less you see.
Let's go to Mufasa now at NTA Road, and then we join JJ and Rumikbo, and then we get back to my guest. Nigeria, Mufasa.
Thank you very much.
Right, go ahead.
I want to thank you for bringing somebody who is very vast in the knowledge of the going on in politics and economics in Rivers State. You see, we keep talking about industrialization. Do you rule out good road system and network if you want to industrialize a city or a state? She just made mention of the roads, open up the rural centers so that the hinterlands can have access to Port Harcourt and its environment. You see, it's good to listen to people like this so that we can learn. Now look at the 6 local governments that this road will go through. We have people who are farmers, we have people who are artisans who want to access these cities, but they don't have access to this place. And if they have roads that will grant them easy access to this place, won't it improve in their lifestyle, in their businesses, in their farming and all of that? So once again, I want to commend your guest for educating and informing Rivers people on this issue,
right,
because
Mufasa.
this issue has lingered longer than necessary.
Thank you. JJ Rumikbo, good morning.
Yeah, let me greet the superwoman that is your guest this morning. I greet you. People are talking about creation of jobs. Andrew, is it spirits from the sky or from alien that come and walk on the on the ring road? Do you know how many skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled people that will carry out that job? Andrew, take a stroll to the Calabari Road and see the sand that they have dredged already for that project. And check how many people are in the site dredging that sand. Check how many skilled people that are on site already, and people are talking about creation of jobs. This thing can create more than 3,000 jobs. So for me, you want jobs to come. Every day you're complaining that the share road is bad, and at the same time you're saying you don't need road anymore. What a contradiction, for goodness sake. Andrew, I beg, thank you this morning.
All right, we'll just do Muriel in Okrika. Later Barry would have to hold. Muriel in Okrika, good morning.
Yeah, actually, good morning. Thank
Go on.
you,
all right.
Okrika woman. Actually, I cannot underestimate the impact of social infrastructure in a state. In fact, for once, as a Rivers daughter, I am proud that our budget is even next to Lagos budget. I'm proud for this project, and I think it will really look. Actually, social infrastructure, especially this ring road, it will boost output production output in this state. It will also help this private sector investment. It will bring it. We cannot establish, and we know, in fact, it leads to 4 local governments. It is a laudable project. It's a good one. We welcome it. But actually, one cannot doubt the fact that this subsidy removal has brought about hunger. And the fastest way to a man's heart is stomach. I need the government to also come out. These bosses are okay, Fioni, but not all river sons and daughters will access it. Some persons have their small private cars that they manage. And some persons might not be going through the routes because I don't think it will go around the state. But Fioni, the government needs to do something that will impact on every single indigene. Feed the Fioni.
All right, Miriam.
Food. Come out and tell us what we're doing to subsidize food and to increase production of foodstuffs, agriculture in the state. It is a quarter of Gary. It's 1,800, and we produce cassava in this state. What is happening to the cassava mill? Please, the government needs to come out. This is a government that can do ABC at the same time. We pay them for the transport, but I think they should do more.
Thank you, Muriel. Let's get back now to my guest. So, yes, you heard them, madam. What's your response as we attempt to wrap up the conversation? What's your response to some of the things that's been highlighted? And
well, Andrew, a lot of the things that have been highlighted require government officials to respond, and I'm not a government official. But I can speak as a Rivers person. I understand that promotion of workers, civil servants is done. I was on Facebook and I saw people who were commenting and saying that they had been promoted, civil servants who had been promoted. So I think that has either been done or is ongoing based on what I saw on Facebook. For employment, I believe it's on course, no? I think some exams were written by people, so I guess that also is on course. But just to say that, look, it would be difficult for one to say that I don't understand the sentiment of our people who say, oh, do more. And every time, everybody wants government to do more. So it's really understandable that people want government to do more. All I think is that it's important we acknowledge what government is doing. And like one of your speakers said, when you have a major project like this, it creates jobs. People have to supply sand. People have to supply granite. But when you have construction happening, a lot of people benefit. In fact, it's one of the ways of putting money in people's
But for many people, the problem is after the construction work is done, then they're out of jobs again.
Okay, but Andrew, you have 3 years. 3 years when you can make an income. We've got to also look at this glass as half full. There is no government in the world that is able to employ everybody. But government can create policies and infrastructure that can enable people to employ themselves. So at the end of those 3 years, we have a government that has opened up or created a mega. Most people in Lagos don't ask government what they're doing. Why? Because it's a mega city and there's a lot of opportunity to manufacture, to make your own money, to have a small or medium business or a micro business. So let's think about that fact. The fact that opening up the city, creating movements that is, not restricted, might just mean that I can decide to have my fish farm in Okrika, that I can move fish from Okrika or from Andoni faster into Port Harcourt, that I can decide to set up an entire fish canning factory in Andoni.
Okay.
So we must begin to think about what this does for us or how it helps generate businesses.
All right.
And those businesses will employ people.
As we wrap up, just one more thing. By the way, let me inform our listener. If you go on Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, you would see we have a video there of the buses already laid out at the RTC yard. And I think on the buses, you would see how the movement is supposed to be. They are labeled with regards to their start point to their end point. You'd see all the details there on the buses. So you can just go on Facebook and look at that video. Perhaps it gives you an idea of how the direction or movement of the buses would look like. And now back to my guest.
Andrew, after chatting you are taking my time.
This is the last one.
Thank you again.
This is the last one. This is the last one. Okay, beyond the free buses, as a Rivers person, what would you suggest for government to do to help this situation at this time that would be all-encompassing and would accommodate even more Rivers people in this time of petrol subsidy removal?
I don't know if I, right off the top of my head, can think of ideas. Sometimes this is something you have to avert your mind to. But I think that, like I said, organized labor can begin to engage with government to think around what would be ways of improving. Transportation is a big deal, and it will help those who are market women. It will bring down the cost of food. So if we're able to ensure that there's transportation to move things, it would help. I truly think it would help. But, looking at the health sector, ensuring improved primary health care is one way to make people spend less money. Looking at basic education and literacy is another way to make people spend less money. These are avenues that usually take money from people. So I think that if they are addressed, it would help. I noticed that Governor Singalai had, talked about improving agriculture and providing some kind of subsidies for fishermen and farmers. So those kinds of initiatives, if they come into course, would be very helpful. That's what I can think of right off the top of my head at this time.
Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to have you more often.
And you will get my bill.
Of course, I will. I know I will. Thank you very much. All right, there you heard from the former Commissioner for Information and former MD NDDC, Ibim Semenitari. Let's quickly go back to the phone lines and take a few of your contributions. Meanwhile, again, go on Facebook, okay, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. For those who want to see on the buses, you will see Education to Rumokoro bus stop, Eleme Junction to, I can't say this one clearly, Choba East West Road. I think just the routes that the buses will be taking, Secretariat to Borokri. I can also see here, this one is saying Eleme Junction to Choba Estate East West Road, okay, and so on and so forth. Just go on Nigeria Info 92.3. Okay, there's Mile 1 flyover to LLN1. There's also Mile 1 to Rumokoro. There's also Secretariat to Abuloma. Mile 3 to Borokri. You would also see Rumola to Iwo Fair. But I think one thing I haven't noticed is anything going to Echie or maybe all of those in Agri Road to Slaughter. But then all those areas, Echie, for instance, how is there any of the buses going in that direction? Or maybe all of them isn't what we've captured. I'm pretty sure we're going to get more details as to the routes that the buses will be taking and how they would be operating. So, yes, keep your fingers crossed. We'll bring you all of those details. In the meantime, remember the phone lines, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. On WhatsApp, this one says, ask your guest, which roads will link the ring road? All the roads outside Obiakpo and Port Harcourt are bad. Even roads in the local government areas close to Obiakpo and Port Harcourt as LMA are terribly bad, Mr. Jeolaka. Well, not all the roads, first of all, outside Obiakpo and Port Harcourt are bad. Not all. You say some roads are bad, understandable. Secondly, I don't have an idea of the contract, and you heard my guest, she's not a government she's not working for the government, so might not have all of those information. But then what we can basically say is the Commissioner for Works would definitely be giving more information as to this. We would know whether the adjoining roads or the feeder roads that will link to the ring road would also be worked on. Well, these are some of the little things that, yes, would raise concerns. Let's go to Mawan Park. Temple is on the line. Hello, Temple. Good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Ifemi Andrew, once again.
You're welcome. Go on, Temple.
Yes, I think when you begin to ask questions if there is anything wrong pertaining the ring road project and the state government transport, man and woman. Because when you talk about roads, the very distinguished thing, and you agree with me that the road, opening road is one of the key development. It attracts a good development to a certain, area. And that is why we will continue to appeal to this government on the need for a good network, where this ring road is one of it. When we talk about we don't have good accessible roads here, we know what we are saying. Because sometimes it chases people away from a community or from a town when there is no good road network. If they have people continue to mechanic assist, they are putting a shine on a daily basis. If you talk about it, it's okay here. People have been crying foul. If you talk about who making a road, if you talk about a wheel and road, people have good roads that when open up, speed up good development. People can come to those areas and buy land and develop. So when people talk about it, the government only investing on road projects, I would say it's a very good one, and we should apply it. For the road the transport system, I will always appeal to this government. It shouldn't be only centered in Pachakot metropolis. It should be decentralized to other AGAs to alleviate the sufferings of the people. In as much as it cannot cushion the effect the people are passing, but it will go a long way in reducing their cost of transport fare.
All right, let's go to Hector now in Ogbogoro. Good morning, Hector.
Good morning. The Ring Road, I haven't listened to some experts. I think it's okay. It is a good idea. We are still advancing as a society, as a state. We are still advancing. We are still developing. But we should also, link communities that are not connected to the city. We should connect those communities to the city. Communities like Bakana, communities like Ugrama, communities like Tumbia. These communities, these riverine communities should be connected to the city. I think that now calls for the second phase of the Trans-Calabari Road. I think this present administration, Governor Foba, if we do well, I believe in him that we will do better. But those of us or those persons that are talking about the Ring Road, I think not that some of them are totally against the road, but the government should also give more attention to other sectors like low-cost houses. What happened to low-cost houses in River State? The last time I see low-cost houses or any administration that focused on low-cost houses was during Orderly. I think if government can also give attention to low-cost houses and food production in the state, it will help to minimize hardship.
All right, Hector, thank you very much. That's a fantastic one there. Let's take some messages on Facebook. Any Emmanuel says, I'm a supporter of projects like this. If they will not embezzle the fund and disburse it among themselves, I think it will be one remarkable thing since the creation of Rivers State. Another person on Facebook, Chinedu, says, good morning. Your last caller who said that the Ring Road will create job. My question is it lifetime job? Job will last for years. Chinedu Ihumo. Chinedu, I don't know of any lifetime job. Even the civil service, you would have to retire. But then we still understand your point. And then my guest made a point and said, if the road will last for 3 years and it that road construction employs you for 3 years, I mean, that's a good time to make something for yourself to start something else. But regardless, it's still the duty of the government to ensure that we have other sectors functioning, manufacturing sectors, production, so people can easily engage themselves there. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Good morning and have a great day. Hello, Port Harcourt is next.
Nigeria Info will be right back.